All right, we're live. We're live, Ben.
Let's go.
Got big trouble in myself. Nikki over here. We're gonna recap. SummerSlam was last night. What time did it end? It ended like
It,
around.
it ended. It ended way too late. I honestly still feel hungover, and so the whole title of this is makes sense because what a
Yeah.
long show it was last night.
No, it's certainly the hangover of SummerSlam. I watched. I would say, I watched two matches in full again.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest I just kind of skim through as usual. I always like to see the entrances. I always need to
Of
see the
course.
entrances, of course. To me, that's one of the best parts of these big time pay-per-views, especially when you get them in like these big stadiums. They just have a different vibe to them. Just a
Mm-hmm.
different vibe to them.
Mm-hmm.
Letting people join in the room here. We're getting some people in the room. That's great. All right. Let's see. Okay, so we could kick it off. I'm thinking before we get into the matches,
Mm-hmm.
promo packages, Ben. What do we
Mm-hmm.
think? Where do we rank here? I had the Kid Rock, right? Obviously, I had an inkling that it was going to be him. I was going through the Rolodex of like these celebrities, and I'm like, it's got to be him. I mean, he's a WWE. He's in the celebrity wing. I think I
Yep.
was there, and I think at the Garden, I think he got inducted. Um, what'd you think of the promo package?
Well, yeah. It's pretty simple. No one does better promo packages than WWE. Their production team is probably severely underpaid for what they do and get you so hyped up for every event they do. So again, they knock it out of the park. I know Kid Rock's a super controversial figure, and this isn't the time or place to talk about Kid Rock and his political views, but with what it was great. Got me hyped up.
Yeah,
Every promo package before the matches, before the event, the whole show. The promo package was bar none. What did they knocked it out of the park.
yeah, they always do that. I can't remember a time where I could be like they missed. They can totally make pay-per-views something that like I remember like Great Balls of Fire. Like everyone's like just completely shitting on that name. And then the pay-per-view itself was pretty damn good and the promo packages was fired as well. Limp Bizkit my way, of course, Devin. Yes.
The number one, WrestleMania 17, of course.
So let's get into the show. Why don't we get into
Sure.
the show?
All right, let's say, how about this? Initial thoughts.
Initial
thoughts.
Okay.
What'd you think? Initial thoughts before we get into the matches. Initial thoughts of the whole show.
Well, it was gonna it was kind of feed into kind of the opener because I really feel like there was like two pay-per-views that I watched or premium live events. The beginning was I thought we were heading towards like a flawless event. I think they started extremely hot. I think that they had the strongest, I guess, like character-driven stuff in the beginning. Obviously, the bloodline was at the end, but in the middle, I kind of feel like they dropped the ball a little bit, and I think we know where it dropped from. So, I mean, I would give this pay-per-view like a B in terms of like from SummerSlams, like if I'm grading it in terms of like SummerSlam itself. But when we hit that Ronda match in Shayna, which is the match I was very excited for. I feel like it just didn't translate the whole MMA thing. I know there was some things online about it should have been, maybe just like a Lions Den match or something like that. I feel like I watched two different pay-per-views. I wasn't exhausted by any means. And I do think they probably lacked like one other monster monster match. And part of the reason I think is because I didn't think in my heart of hearts, I didn't think Roman was dropping the title. What about you?
No, initial thoughts. I'm along the same lines as you. I was honestly, it's safe to say I was a little disappointed with SummerSlam. It being the number 2 pay-per-view of the year, usually year over year, and sometimes it's up there with the best pay-per-views of the year. Right. I think over the past few months, some of the pay-per-views that we've seen, especially the international ones, like Backlash, Money in the Bank, this one didn't really compare to those, and of course Mania, but I didn't see this on that same level. It didn't have that feel. I agree with you. Yeah. The beginning was hot, and we'll get into the matches and we'll give our thoughts on those. The beginning was hot, especially the first two matches. Really, the first three, and I have a lot to say about the Battle Royal, but there was something missing. It was almost like the air was taken out, and we kind of have a feeling where that happened.
While we're talking about what we feel about it, if you guys can drop a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, drop your drop your scale. Your
how many brothers would you give it?
How many brothers?
A scale of 1 to 10 brothers.
And we are using the decimal system. So drop your ratings in the chat if you can. So we got a flat 7 from Rich. Before we get into the matches, this is the last thing I'll say about the actual show itself, is that they're running into that problem where, like, you have a SummerSlam, you're looking for a major payoff, and like SummerSlam, you can do those payoffs that you maybe thought you could have done at Mania. If the story is still Cody winning at 40 and beating Roman, that's their problem, is that it just creates an issue in the main event where the story is, it's not really about the championship. Like, it wasn't even about the championship. Like, it was about more of the becoming the Tribal Chief than it was the actual WWE Universal Championship. At least that's the way I was like viewing it. Like, even in the beginning of the match, like the whole like passing of that, it seemingly had bigger value than the actual title. So I think from just like that standpoint, I think it suffered a little bit because they're just running into this problem where no one's going to beat Roman until Cody, maybe at 40. So, hey, Jim, what's going on, man? You're not late. You're right on time. You're here. As Jericho said in his book, 4 is I think the book is
if you're gonna be late, I don't know, I forgot what the book.
No, it's no is a 4-letter word, and he said wherever you are, that's the place to be.
And it's if you're gonna be late, just be all the way late. That they're happy to see you
for sure. Okay, so let's dive into the actual show here.
Yep.
Still, I will say this: we've given our points and we said we were a little wavy on the actual show itself. Wrestling's great anyway. Wrestling was awesome. That was a great way to spend my Saturday night, and I'm so damn happy that it's on Saturday night. I enjoyed the show the entire way. It's just that if you're trying to look at it and say like, hey, how awesome was it? That's what we're talking about here. What's up,
Dylan? Exactly.
What's going on, man?
And remember, we put SummerSlam on a pedestal a bit.
Oh yeah, we love it.
SummerSlam's up there, so it's not that it was bad. It's just that sometimes it's not
good fella. You might be onto something, man, because listen, they're gonna have to go through all those different varieties of the bloodline and try and figure it out. So I think a fatal 4-way is definitely going to be in the cards. Hey Ben, can you see the chat?
I can see the chat. I see it. Good fella, cool, Dylan, cool. Rich, Jim, Devin.
Just making sure. All right, so let's kick it off, guys. And for every match, please drop your ratings in the comments. We want to see what you guys are thinking too. Okay, it kicked off with Logan Paul versus Ricochet. We talked about it in the SummerSlam special that we had. We were both excited for this match. I felt they were perfect dance partners. In my opinion, they knocked it out of the park. I know there were some comparisons to Bad Bunny and so on and so forth. And like, oh, Ricochet, maybe he wasn't as safe as Priest. I'm like, Bad Bunny's not doing the moves that Logan Paul can do. These two guys put on a hell of a show, a hell of opener. There's a ton of pressure there because you're setting this tone for the entire event. I thought they absolutely crushed it. And Logan Paul just continues to impress me. I know we say it all the time, every time he has a match, but the guy just gets it from like a mannerism standpoint, and he just looks like $1 million. I mean, there's not like an ounce of fat on the guy's body. He looks like an action figure. He has great gear. He has good mannerisms. He works the crowd. He uses the prime energy, all that stuff. We got an 8.75 from Rich. We got a 7.5 from Raz. Yeah, man, I thought it was a great match. I loved it. I think it was a perfect opener, and I'm happy they went with that one.
Yeah, I mean, but Logan Paul has no business being this good. For anybody that's ever wrestled or trained and understanding what he's doing right now, this is his 4th singles match. So if people don't understand, this is the 4th time he has been in front of an audience wrestling one other person. Other matches have been tags. He was in the Money in the Bank, and of course, those are equally as hard. But in those, there might be other guys that can help carry the match. This is his 4th singles match, and this is how well he's doing. And I want to ask a question in a little bit. We'll get to the chat as we wrap this up. But at the same time, what I liked about the match, we'll start with this. What I really liked about the match, this wasn't a spot fest. So this wasn't they had their spots, they had their big spots, and because obviously that's what people wanted, but it wasn't. One thing that really stood out to me when they were doing the spot with the drop down, leapfrog, sunset flip spot that you see a lot of guys do nowadays, where and a lot of people make fun of it, call it gymnastics. That and the other thing. At one point, Logan Paul just got up and gave him a meaty back elbow, and it just stopped. And so
It
now
did, yeah.
it was showing that it's a fight now. It's not just, hey, look how athletic we are and what we can do ducking and dodging each other nonstop. You know, they had their spots, they showed off their athleticism, but at the same time, they added a lot of psychology to the match as well. So it wasn't just like the same thing that we kind of see all the time. And one other thing I wanted to mention is that we need to make sure we talk about Logan Paul a lot. Logan Paul is obviously, people are speaking highly of Logan Paul, and he deserves it. But at the same time, we got to give Ricochet his flowers.
Oh, yeah.
Ricochet he has gotten a lot of slack over the years. I think Ricochet does everyone's moves better than anybody does their own moves. He can do everything better than, and make it look better than most people can. And so Ricochet deserves his flowers. I think that, and I want to ask the chat this. Let me know. Do you think this is Ricochet's most important match he's had since he's been on the main roster? Do you think this was his highlight match from being on the main roster? I personally think so. I think he's never looked more impressive, been in more of an important match than this one with Logan Paul.
I'd say the only one that was even remotely close to this one is, and it can't be bigger than this, because this was at SummerSlam, is the match he had against Cole at NXT Brooklyn. I would say that was
main
his other best
roster.
main main roster. This is easily the most important match he's been in.
Yep.
And really, he was given a task. He 100% was given a task here, and the task was, hey, get Logan Paul to where he needs to be, make sure you guys are safe, and make sure you make it absolutely spectacular.
No, Raz, I see you down here. You couldn't think of another one-on-one pay-per-view match outside of Brock. There you go. So Brock might have been the other one, obviously being a high-profile match. But yeah, I think I loved it. I loved the pacing. I loved the Hogan spot from Logan Paul, followed up by the Ricochet.
The what was it? The Hogan Paul, the
Hogan Paul, and then the Ricochet, whatever you want to call him. He drops the people's moonsault, I guess you can call it. Good spot, entertaining match. Obviously, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Nick? What do you think is the best Logan Paul match so far? He's had 4. He's had Miz, Rollins, Reigns, and now Ricochet.
I mean, I put probably Rollins right underneath this.
Would you say this is the best one?
This is, I would say this is the best one in terms of how far can he push himself. I don't think the story was as this is nothing against Ricochet, but those other guys are just in a complete other tier.
Of course.
Like Roman, we're talking Roman Reigns, Rollins, the 2 guys that are the champions right now. So from that, but I think in terms of seeing what Logan Paul can do, Logan Paul did way more character work in this because that had to play a bigger part, because Ricochet, again, he's spectacular in the ring, but he's not as strong as a character as Rollins or Reigns is. So Logan Paul had to further this storyline, and he did so with Samantha Irvine on the, having her be Ricochet's fiance, having the nice line about I'm going to leave here with my fiance and your fiance too. He pushed it along from a character standpoint. It wasn't just, hey, I'm a celebrity, but I also can do some sick moves.
Yeah.
So that was, let me see if I got any other notes here. I'm just sending out another tweet there so people can come and join. Let me get my notes up here. I just want to make sure that I cut all of things. Oh, so here's just a few of the moves that they knocked down. So the Hurricane neck breaker.
The Hurricane, yep.
That was.
Did you see Hurricane? He tweeted out that, hey, that's not my move anymore.
That was insane.
Faces that made it look better than me.
I just got my buddy Keith. He's in the chat right now. He sent me. So actually, I had someone on the ground there. He was sitting ringside. So my buddy Keith, he's in the chat right now. We're actually going to All Out. Me and him will be there. But he just wanted me to shout him out and say thanks for the footage. So thank you, Keith, for the footage, brother. So they hit the Hurricane neck break, the moonsault into the DDT. That was pretty. That was incredible. I mean, the fact that Ricochet, dude, Logan Paul is not a small guy. He's not small, and he does that. Landed perfectly on his shoulder. Boom. Let's see. The brass knucks for the wins, and Samantha Irvin kept it classy. I did think the thing about the little kid giving him the Prime energy drink outside, So Logan Paul's still doing that thing where like he's a bad guy, but he still gives back to the audience. And I like that because he should be doing that.
The people want to be involved no matter what, whether it's an indie wrestling show in front of 20 people or it's, SummerSlam in front of 60,000. That's all the people want. You see it. You see it with every guy that comes out with Rollins entrances, LA Knight's catchphrases, Cody's entrances. The people want to be involved. So anytime people are involved, it's gonna get a pop. They love it.
Yeah. So the next one we have on the card. So I got a lot to say about this match because
let's see if we agree.
And this is where I'm going to start getting into character here. Okay, this is where I'm going to start getting a little antsy. You people out there that still were like, I'm tired. I don't want the third match of Cody and Brock. Shut your dumb marks. Shut your dumb mark mouth. Because these two, that probably the best part of the show. I'll say it was the best part of the show. It's better than the main event. It was immediately out the gate. First of all, you heard the pops. Just like we said on the show, what did we say? As soon as you hear Brock's entrance, as soon as you hear Cody's entrance, you're going to forget about all the minority of people out there that said it wasn't going to be great. Nobody cared because these guys are attractions. You had two attractions in the rings, megastars, and that's exactly what they are. The entrances were awesome, and then Cody just jumps Brock from get-go. And then I made a TikTok about it earlier today. This one of the scariest German suplexes I've ever seen. I watched it back like 17 times. It wasn't as dangerous as it looked, but dude, when Brock grabs you and like because Cody was like trying to jump out of it, and Brock was just like, "No, you're taking this move right now." I literally I was like, "Oh my god!" And my wife came downstairs. She's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Someone almost died. That's what just happened right now." And she's like, "Oh my god, who's that guy?" I'm like, "That's Brock." And he's like, "She's like, he looks terrifying." I'm like,
alpha male.
What'd you think? So what are your initial thoughts before we
take
into this?
I mean, I'm the same way with you. I don't want to hear any more of the Brock slander. I don't want to hear any more people saying Brock doesn't sell, doesn't put people over. He is the best selling big man in wrestling. Bar none. I don't care what anybody says. He sells
Brock,
the best
big
for
trouble.
his size.
Brock,
big trouble, and then it's a big drop off after that.
Omos after that,
yeah. So basically, Omos. We'll throw our guy Omos in there. But the way he registers everything is bar none the best in wrestling. So I'm not going to hear any more Brock slander. This was the best match out of all three, easily. I think this was the match of the night on the card.
Yeah.
And originally, I want to add, do we think we were going to get another Cena situation from 2014? Was that a thought in your mind, like a sliver maybe? I think we kind of had an idea that Cody was going to get this, but did we think like during the countouts, during like the beatdown, did we think?
Only reason I didn't think is because I've been saying it. I'm annoying at this point, but like he's winning at 40, so like he has to win. He has to win these matches.
I've been saying that, and I think commentary helped the story, the timing, the pacing, the storytelling. Again, these guys are light years among a lot of light years over a lot of people right now in wrestling. The way they were able to tell that story, the way Brock was able to, Cody is fantastic. The fit was insane. It was impeccable when he came out. I mean, his fits are unreal.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I think I had one issue with the match. One issue. Cody used the stairs in front of the referee. That was a little odd. That was a little odd to me. I think that was it. Other than that,
I actually had the same thought.
Yeah.
I hate when they do that. It just kind of is like, if you're going to have the ref there, just have the ref, there. Just because Brock is like beating you up doesn't mean you can break the rules.
Yeah, I agree with Amanda. I think, why was the match second? I think it kind of, could have been a little bit later, maybe better. I think the one issue I had with SummerSlam, and it maybe wasn't exactly, I wasn't a big fan of. I think the match placement, which can be big in a show. Match placement's very important, no matter what stage you're on. The match placement on a show can either throw it off or make it great. So I think this being second, might have brought it. That might have. It kind of led. I think it led with the two best matches of the night. To be completely honest, I
mean, if I looked at the rest of the card, I would have said, "Hey, we've got some bangers coming up," but they just didn't translate as much. I mean, you couldn't have asked for more out of this match. And then if we're talking about like obviously like Brock just beat the shit out of him, like literally beat the shit out of him, right? You had the whole like is he gonna get counted out or is he not? And Cody, just digging deep, getting back in, and then he hits the 3 crossroads to put down Brock, right? And he gets the win, and then you get something. I still like got chills. And I don't know why wrestling does that to me. Maybe it's because like I'm a mark and I love that shit. But to me, like you could tell, like Brock does not do that. Like there's no Triple H is not in the back saying, "Hey Brock, at the end of this match, I want you to like look at Cody in the eyes, shake his hand, give him a big hug." Like that does not happen. This was Brock being like, "Dude, I just like mauled you. Like I know what you're all about. Like, I know you're as invested in this, if not more, probably more than I am." Like, and then that was almost like, Brock is like the gatekeeper. Like he's the gatekeeper to be, to the next realm in pro wrestling. You have to run through Brock at this point. And Cody did that. And like that moment right there, to me, that was the biggest moment of the night. It's the biggest takeaway of the night, period. And then probably I'd put like the Jay Jimmy thing right underneath that. But that to me was the biggest moment of the night.
Yeah, Brock does what he wants. Brock is gonna do what he wants. He's he did that right on his own. Obviously respects Cody. And I had this conversation with a lot of people after Mania 39. Everyone was telling me, Cody's done. Cody's gonna be Cody hasn't been hotter than he is now. He's hotter than he was going into WrestleMania 39. I'm sorry.
You could almost make the argument that the pec tear may have helped him out a little bit to an extent.
I think so.
It got him the Rumble return. He got to go in at 30. He had the match. Remember, there's not the pec's new, so wear and tear. Like that's just another year or 9 months that you're taking off. He got in the best shape of his life. He looks like $1 million. And now, like it helped extend the story a bit, like, and we're continuing on. It's going to come to 40, but like this match, it just exceeded so many expectations because there you had the vocal minority out there just saying that like another Brock match. So listen and take this to the bank. If you're listening right now, I'm going to tell you this. If Brock Lesnar's on the card, the match is awesome. And I'll say this. To me, Brock Lesnar's probably still right now the best wrestler in the world. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like Triple H even said it in the press conference. He's like, you're talking about him now in like a Mount Rushmore, like POV. Like what more does the guy have to do? He puts everyone over when he doesn't have to, because in a real life, like there's like no one that could actually like beat the guy. He's 47 years old.
And he looks like that. The way he looks. I think someone just said it. Peter said it in here. Looks like he slimmed down a bit. Yeah, he looked incredible.
Dude, Brock can look 450 pounds like a week ago, and then he just shows up every pay-per-view.
No, he's a freak.
He just looks like a cyborg. And it's probably a little bit of something, but whatever.
When I was at the last indie show, it was on Thursday night outside of Chicago, Woodstock, Illinois. No big deal. I was with a guy that actually did a spot with Lesnar in on a Raw, and I took the F5. He took the F5. He was an extra. Shout out Trax, an indie wrestler out of Pennsylvania, out of Philadelphia. He said in that segment he realized why Brock is who he is. He said that he's never seen anybody move as quick and cover as much distance as fast as a Brock Lesnar. That was like 2 years ago at 45 years old. He's a freak of nature. He's an elite athlete, probably one of the best athletes WWE's ever had, a pure athlete at his size, 6'3", 280, whatever he is. I mean, he looks all of 280. So there's nobody that comes close as athletic as Brock Lesnar for what he can do for his size.
And it's like, do you know what Brock does for the WWE? Like, what would we do without Brock? It's like he could be thrown into any situation and he makes it money. And also, here's another thing. He's grown as a talker as well. He doesn't need Heyman anymore. And he proved that. He comes out in the cowboy hat. He's reinvented himself. He's done all the things that all of the greats have done. So he is right up there. I may even say he's like top. I might say he's top 10 all time, because I still don't think, like, people talk about this person in the ring, Bret Hart in the ring, Shawn Michaels in the ring. Brock can do all that shit. He just doesn't have to, because he's not 6'2", 215". He's legitimately 6'4", 300 pounds, and moves faster than those guys.
Oh yeah,
like he was doing shooting star presses like across the fucking ring.
Well, hopefully, he never does that again.
No, we don't need that anymore.
You don't need to see that ever again.
Yeah. TRT 2.0. Yeah, whatever. Sure. Who gives a shit? TRT, bring it up. I'll take that shit. I'll take that shit. I'm close to 40. I'll take TRT. I don't give a shit. Anyway.
He looks incredible. Yeah, we've went ad nauseum about how great Brock is. So
Brock's and you know what? Cody, like, people got to stop doubting Cody too. Oh, he's gonna come out to another promo. Yeah, he's gonna do another promo. He's gonna do another promo. Okay? And you're gonna get more and more promos. Okay, you're gonna get more. Here, Gazillion Beers has entered the chat. I want everyone to thank Gazillion Beers for actually watching Collision last night. And I don't know, because I don't know any other. You find me another brand out there that was covering Collision and SummerSlam at the same time. Didn't happen. That's the difference. Okay, that's why you guys come here, right? That's why the 66 of you in the chat right now, that's why you're here.
We appreciate every single one of you.
We appreciate all of you. Yeah, and sorry we didn't go live at like 1:00 in the morning. Ben and I have to go to the gym. Okay, these other shows probably not going to the gym.
They're waking up at 11 a.m. They're having their breakfast.
All right,
11:30. We're not like that. We're built a little different.
Yeah. I got another good comment. By the way, Brock has had a longer run than both Rock and Austin. Okay. That's another thing about Brock Lesnar. This is the last thing I'm going to say about Brock Lesnar. I'm sick and tired of that.
This is now a Brock Lesnar problem.
I'm sick and tired of any detraction from Brock Lesnar. Shout out to my guy Keith.
We're just going to start reviewing every Brock Lesnar match. Actually, that wouldn't take too long in the history.
No, it wouldn't. I mean, he's got that sweet ass schedule. Anyway, so the match ends right. Brock gave Cody his approval. Cody hugs his mom. She obviously was all over the documentary. So
white meat baby face, baby. Oh,
WWE just knows what the hell they're doing.
And let's say that we're going to get to a lot of this. The corporate synergy during SummerSlam was. I was blown away. The amount of ads,
I loved it though. I like that shit.
Slim Jim, Rocket Mortgage,
JVC, Kaboom Box, like all that shit. I love.
You know what I remember, and I want to ask the chat. What is the one you remember the most from back in the day? I remember Stacker 2.
Stacker 2, the world's fastest fat burner.
Like, they don't make lugs anymore. They don't make Stacker 2 anymore. Corn nuts.
Karate fighters. They had Sable in the ring. They did the karate fighters, like Sable versus Jerry the King Lawler or something like that. So in the chat, what do you got? I want your ratings in the chat. So 1 out of 10. What do you think about the match? And also, what's your favorite sponsor in pro wrestling history? We may have to do a six box challenge. That might be the next one we're doing. Stridex from SummerSlam '97.
Ico Pro is a legendary one.
Yeah, Ico Pro. Yeah, that's one of the great commercials of just jacked dudes. Yeah, if you see those biceps out there, yeah, you're not getting that on any other channel.
The World Bodybuilding Federation, baby.
Anyway, moving on, we got the Battle Royal. Now, one thing I'll say about the Battle Royal, I thought it was kind of funny how they made a promo package talking about the Battle Royal, but basically it's like, you already have the Rumble. Like, I thought that was kind of funny because they tried to make. Obviously, they were going with LA Knight, so they wanted to make it, a lot bigger. And it was a Slim Jim Battle Royal, of course. Now,
let me say this about a Battle Royal.
Go ahead.
Before we get into it,
and you've been in them probably.
Battle Royal is the worst match in pro wrestling. Whenever you get to a show, if you find out that you're in a Battle Royal, and if you're not winning the Battle Royal, it is a horrible match. You don't want to do it. Nobody really wants to do a Battle Royal. Ask any wrestler, unless you're getting paid the big bucks. Nobody wants to do a Battle Royal. It's a waste of time. It's punches and kicks. But this Battle Royal, this one in particular, besides the Royal Rumble, most Battle Royals kind of stink out loud. I'll say that. This one, though, and we'll get into it, I think this one in particular was very well done. I really enjoyed this Battle Royal. So, Nick, go ahead. We'll get into it.
So, Yeah, so I always like to see who gets the entrances. That was
Hmm.
one thing that stuck out to me. So what it was The Miz, it was LA Knight, and it was AJ Styles and Omos, right?
Hmm.
They all got the entrances, like
Yep.
on television. So I also think it was done really well. I think the biggest thing that they had that came out of this battle royal in particular was they told a bunch of different stories in this battle royal. They didn't just throw it away just to get to the winner. Um, Specific eliminations, like who was in the ring with who like the camera work. This was done really well, and also I think they suspended disbelief as that. I think everyone was like, LA Knight has to win. They got to give him something. But they did a
Hmm.
pretty good job of making you feel like there's a chance he also might just get screwed here.
Hmm.
And that's what kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time.
I see something Barry just said, and this is one thing I wanted to bring up. Theory didn't get an entrance. Theory's the U.S. champion. Why is Theory in this match? I had a little bit of an issue with that. That's the one issue I had with this match.
I have an
Kind of
issue with
buries.
with Theory just in general. I mean, he needs something like
Hmm.
different. I like there's a reason he was in the battle royal, and it's because there's just not enough meat on the bone of. And I know we're the character podcast, like we
And
are the character show.
I really, when Cena really, talked about him before WrestleMania, that was it. Now I'm thinking it was a shoot. I think he was shooting on him. I think a lot. He said there was something missing. He said there's something. He said he's trying to kick it into high gear with the. He sees something in the guy, right? Theory looks incredible. He's an amazing wrestler. What's I don't know. I don't
Theory
know.
to me like should have like Ricky Starks's character,
Mm-hmm.
like how Ricky Starks brings me in right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's something Theory should do. Theory's just right now he's just like the good looking jacked guy with everything working for
Yeah.
him in terms of physicality. I mean, he looks. You create a wrestler. You want to create a wrestler. You
Mm-hmm.
create Austin Theory. Like
Exactly.
it's very simple.
Mm-hmm.
But there's obviously something missing there. Um, yeah, I mean, there's something missing there. Um,
And
and
I don't
this,
know what this was for, Nick. Like, what was this battle royal for?
so that was my next question to you. Like, you just won the Slim Jim? Did you win a bunch of Slim Jims?
I don't.
What'd you win? Like, was it just to get LA Knight? It was just obviously to get people on the card,
The
but
paycheck,
like,
brother.
was it to get LA Knight a big win, and then also have him at the press conference because he was there? I feel like it almost got the treatment of like a lesser King of the Ring, like
Mhm.
what they did with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. It's the same thing where you try and catapult someone. And they'll probably do this, and they probably won't even do it next year. Like there won't be any SummerSlam Slim Jim, like
No.
unless Slim Jim is probably like, "Hey, we have money, want to be a sponsor. What do you got?" And they were like, well, "God damn it, we'll have a battle royal."
Throw them all in.
Yeah.
Obviously WWE does a good job with big men, with the monsters, giants. Omos had a good showing in the battle royal. Really good big man spots. Obviously took 8 guys to get him out at the end. I think other guys that really looked good in this match. Chad Gable looked good. Are
Oh
we going to see?
yeah,
Are
I
we going to
mean
see another?
that dude. Can
Yeah,
we and Otis too
and
give these
Otis.
guys
Yeah,
something else to do?
yeah.
They need to. I mean, or just more screen time. But they should be getting the New Day treatment.
Mhm.
Like get me more of Alpha Academy. Build it out a bit.
Yep.
I got a comment in the chat says Theory's cooked.
He's cooked. Straight
Theory's
to the point.
cooked.
Straight to the
Man,
point.
he's cooked like on Frank the Tank's show. He's Tank's cooked. He just got cooked up by Frank Fleming.
Other
Uh,
guys, Reed and Champa as well. Bronson Reed, Tommaso Ciampa. Looks like there's some guys that you could be looking at right now that might be getting a little push after SummerSlam.
yeah.
I like that they were extending some storylines, some rivalries. This is why I like this battle royal. Maybe LA Knight Miz. Maybe we get him into a big program with the Miz coming up. Like some
I would
good
like Miz
promo.
because Miz could talk.
Exactly. He can
And
go. He can go
Miz
back
will
and
put
forth.
over, and Miz will make sure that LA Knight gets put over.
Yep. And then
Um,
Cross and Styles would like to see Karrion Cross get something going. I know a lot of people aren't fans of Karrion Cross. I personally like the guy. I think he's believable. I think he's Nick. I want to hear your thoughts on Karrion Cross.
Karrion Cross has his presentation is so incredible. They like gave him everything. This is gonna sound really dumb. The minute he gets like shredded, ripped, he's gonna go. I think that's when they start playing with him. right? Like I don't know why I feel that way, but like he has Scarlett next to him, right? They're coming out. The hair is starting to come in, right? He's starting to look more menacing. The leather jacket I like, right? They're also just not as consistent with him. Like he shows up one week and he has a big spot. He attacks someone. It's vicious. And then the next week, he's just kind of cooled off. That's not his fault. And I don't even think he needs to talk much. You know, he doesn't need to talk much. He has Scarlett. She could talk if she needs to. So, but I'm a fan of him because I think he has the size. Like he's a big dude. Like he can go up and he could challenge a Drew McIntyre or Sheamus. Like he could go on that level. But he needs more screen time. I mean, you can't just have him popping in every week.
Yeah, I don't know what I thought. Like Karrion Kross was going to be a big time main eventer by now. I know obviously in NXT, Triple H was high on him. I don't know what happened when he gets to the main roster. There was some mix up. He was gone. He was back. What have you? But like you said, I think there's something there. There's obviously something there. He's believable. He hits hard. He's aggressive. He's got to be presented the right way. It comes down to that. You can be as big and aggressive and look as menacing as possible. If you presented like the way he's been presented, what are you going to be? You're not going to work.
So Goodfella 1422 says, I like Kross, gets no reaction. His matches have been meh. AJ should bring out some more memorable spots and hopefully match.
I like that. Yeah, okay. That's a good point.
What do you think about what they're doing with Omos? He just loses every time. He dominates and he loses.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing. If you really look through Royal Rumbles or Battle Royals in the last few years, or in recent history, I should say, big guys never really win.
They never fucking
win. They never win. They come in. Kane was in the 2001 Royal Rumble and eliminated 11 guys, threw 11 guys out of the ring, and then get eliminated by Austin. I think he was in the top 3 at the end. You see guys like Omos come in, eliminate 10 guys, and gets thrown out. I like what they did. He didn't get tossed out like he was a sack of shit. He took 8 guys to get him. Everyone gave him their finisher or a big shot or something.
Right.
And he eventually got worn down and got thrown out. There's a place for Omos. I mean, I'm partial to the big guys. There ain't no big man heat. By the way, folks, that's something that's real, big man heat. A lot of big guys don't like other big guys. Not me, though. I'm partial. Like the big guys, we need more in wrestling. Thing for another day or every single podcast that we talk about this. But listen, Omos, there's a place for him. Obviously, as long as Vince is around, there's going to be big men in wrestling. There's going to be giants. Loves the Giants, the Nigerian giant.
Speaking of that, I got a comment from Keith again. My buddy, he said that he's going to join the faction with MVP. He said not MVP, Lashley. He's going to be joining.
That's good.
He's going to be hooking up with Lashley. And also, if you know Omos, if you've seen him in person, which he was in the Barstool office, the guy loves style. He loves clothes. He's not this like Nigerian giant, like he's not like that in real life. He's like a bougie. He's like a bougie dude. So what Lashley's got going on right now, that could work. Like, remember when they had him in the underground thing, Shane O'Mac's thing, like he was a bouncer. Right. And then he just became the Nigerian giant who just, screams when he comes out and then he walks to the ring, gets tossed out of the battle royal. I think the Lashley thing is something there. You get Omos at 7'4" wearing a nice suit. Maybe we go down that route. He's got a personality too. So I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
Last thing on the battle royal. So obviously we got, LA Knight wins, so he did the press conference. Clearly, I think they're just trying to figure out what to do with him. I think they're trying to figure out what title he gets. He should just take the title off Theory. The U.S. title is the one he should go for. If you weren't gonna have him, win Money in the Bank, have him just take the title off Theory. Last thing I want to say about battle royals is you were in one that was pretty seen on television. For those of you who don't know, if any of you are fans of Young Rock,
don't blink.
if any of you out there are fans of Young Rock and you've watched that show, in the opening credits, I believe, in the intro,
At season 3, episode 10.
There's, as Vince would say, a big bastard in the middle
Big
of the
body
ring.
slam.
Just monster body slam. And I think you got Austin trunks on.
Oh, I had the trunks on. Oh, yeah.
I don't even think you got knee pads on, brother.
No knee pads because it was
No
a
knee pads.
60s battle royal.
Looking 60s, ridiculous. We got Big Trouble Ben Bishop right in the middle of the opening credits of season 3 of Young Rock.
Yep.
Go check it out.
Season 3, episode 10. It's the first 45 seconds to a minute. You're not going to have to watch the rest of it.
You find me another podcast out there who has a host that was on Young Rock.
There's none.
Doesn't exist, brother.
Big body slam in the middle of the battle royal. Make sure you ham it up. I hammed it up in that ring, and the Rock was narrating over me. He definitely saw me.
You knew what you were doing.
Dwayne saw me. He had to. Yeah. So go watch that. Take a minute out of your day and go watch that.
Yeah. So Ben's going to be probably like, the CRO of $7 production.
Probably, most likely, very soon.
Anyway, okay, so moving on. This is where I think the show took a turn. I was excited for the match. I thought it was going to be a big time coming out party for Shayna Baszler. The stipulation just screwed up everything. I thought the story was there. Shayna was cutting great promos. They had very good build up. This is supposed to be, I guess, Ronda's swan song. The MMA in the ring. First of all, they clearly knew what they were doing. They know how to spar because it did look, if you didn't know it was fake, you'd probably be like, okay, like looks like they're making, they're doing some stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
Just didn't translate in the ring. It just didn't. And I think that's what hurt it the most.
There's really not much to say about this. I was honestly disappointed because I was really looking forward to this. I loved Shayna Baszler in her 2018-19 NXT run. I thought this could have been a really great moment for her to really get to that next level on the main roster. I thought they would have a great match. And like you said, what hurt this match was worked MMA matches don't work. MMA exists. It's mainstream now. People watch it. No one wants to watch a worked MMA match ever.
It was they had a really good chance. They had a great opportunity to just put it in like a lion's den or build a structure or make something unique and different, or even have just like a street fight, have them brawling in the arena, or you have a whole stadium, use it, pull an AEW, use the entire fucking stadium, let these girls beat the shit out of each other.
They're two legitimate athletes. They're
two legitimate athletes who can handle themselves.
Just this work. They're rolling around the technical stuff. It was
Pat Lavin, who Pat helped. Pat's our Instagram guy. Should have been a fight pit match. Weird to have two gimmick matches on the card. Tribal Combat MMA rules without any really. There was no explanation.
No,
I still don't know what a tribal combat means. To me, it just means that Solo Sikoa is going to come out at some point and do something. That's what it means to me.
I don't. I just there's not really much to say about this. The crowd was dead. It was flat. I think the air was taken out of Ford Field. And unfortunately, I was bummed. I was really looking forward to this. And this is when actually I had some people watching. My wife, my sister's boyfriend were actually watching. They don't watch wrestling. They don't watch it, but they were watching. And even they were like, what the hell? The hell is this?
Amanda, you're right, by the way. The Rousey knee directly to her face was
that was nice. That
could have been the moment that they switched things up.
Yeah. Yep. That was
because it looked like it hit. I mean,
there you go. These two could have had a great match. Like there's moments that they had.
But what's funny is like if one of them broke each other's noses, they wouldn't care. They're those type of,
they're tough as hell. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing else to be said.
That ends. I think we'll see what happens with Ronda. If this is her swan song, I still think she'll come back at some point. I think it'll be one of those where she gets brought in for a quick like a Trish Stratus a few weeks or whatever. I think that's in the cards down the road. But for now, Shayna Baszler, you need to build her up. I think that she needs to be a threat in the women's division. They need someone that wrestles like her. But WWE's women's division is stacked anyway. But Shayna Baszler, based on her NXT run, should be doing a lot bigger stuff. Next match on the card was Drew McIntyre versus Gunther. Biggest takeaway for me is that I'm just very happy that Gunther retained this title. What are you feeling about?
Yeah, number one, he needed to keep that title. I think it's time for the Honky Tonk Man's record to be broken. I think it's been around for longer than it
I
needed
love
to.
that record, though, man.
I love it too.
I love Honky Tonk, man.
And Honky Tonk Man, one of the all-time chicken shit heels, one of the all-time gimmicks in wrestling. But I think it's time. I think it's time to break that record. I think Gunther is the guy to do it. A lot of chatter about Drew. A lot of chatter. People thought, he wasn't coming back. Now he's back. Now, I don't think this is all dirt sheet type stuff. I don't like it. I think he obviously respects Gunther. Like, what is he going to come back and be like, give me the title? Right. I don't think that's Drew. I don't think it's the type of guy. I think what we want.
McIntyre's a company man. He's a WWE guy.
And what I want a heel Drew.
Yes.
I think we're done with this babyface Drew stuff. It's been going on since 2019. I think we're ready to take it to the next level.
I'll always say that Drew got screwed over by COVID. He was hot. He got the title, and he did a great job during
the best he could.
The best he could during the Thunderdome era. He did the best job he could, but he got screwed by it because that was his time, and the time has passed now. And there's just so many guys at the top of the card now that are in front of him. He needs to switch it up, and we just need stronger heels.
Yeah,
we need like vicious heels. We need if he could be like a Triple H heel. Or even just a little bit of that. Like you really fucking hate this guy.
Yeah.
Like this guy's an evil bastard. Like that's what you need. And I think Drew has the physicality. I mean, he was in the match. He was standing next to Gunther. He's a lot bigger than Gunther.
Oh, he's way bigger. Yeah. Drew's a big guy.
Big. I love saying this, but I'll say it again. He's a big bastard.
Son of a bitch.
Bastard.
I met Drew in person. Obviously, I'm way bigger than Drew. First and foremost, want to make sure that's known. So everyone in the chat know that I am way bigger than Drew McIntyre. But he's very big. Drew McIntyre probably stands about 6'5". I think Gunther 6'3" but Drew is a massive human being. He's enormous, jacked up, looks good. He's got the hair. Handsome guy. I'm comfortable enough to say that. I think a big heel Drew going against maybe like a Cody now, or even like build him up for somebody maybe after WrestleMania. I think there's a lot of stuff you can do with Drew. I don't know.
Speaking of the one thing we didn't touch upon with Cody is like Orton did not come.
That was a bummer.
He's the only way that I can see people just like shutting up about how we're going to get to WrestleMania.
Yep.
Orton comes in, you'll be fine.
Exactly. Another big name that Cody can work with up until WrestleMania.
Yeah. Drew definitely does need a win. Is it Goodfellas? Is that what you're talking about? You're saying that Drew needs a win?
I think so. I think he needs to come now. I think he needs to come back after this loss, pissed, full of vinegar, ready to go on a path of destruction.
He needs to start like attacking people. Like no more funny tag teams. Like
no joking around.
No joking around. Just start beating the shit out of somebody. Like that,
I agree. I agree with Amanda. I don't think this was as good as the triple threat match. I also don't think it was as good as the match that Sheamus and Gunther had at Clash of the Castle. But again, it's just two big guys. It's big meaty men slapping meat, right?
Yeah.
I like it. I like when it looks like a fight. These guys know how to make it look like a fight. They're two badass guys. So again, somebody said it. I didn't see it, but I think the air was taken out a little bit of the stadium. So I think it took it out a little bit, especially when this match started. Again, I liked it. I liked it. It wasn't my favorite Gunther match, but I liked it.
Yeah. The next match on the card was Seth freaking Rollins versus Finn Balor. A lot of callbacks in this match. Finn coming out with the custom tattoo. Rollins wearing the same outfit he wore 7 years ago, I guess, when Seth got hurt. Finn got hurt. This it didn't go the way I thought it was, but I kind of dug the way they went because the two obvious outcomes, which are like the two ways that you would cash in, whether Finn wins or Finn loses. neither really mattered because the way they played it that Priest was compromised to a degree, and he's the one who really cost Finn the match, like in it with his indecisiveness. So I didn't expect them to go that way with the story, but I'm kind of happy they did because I was saying that this was going to be where the Judgment Day implodes. Now it seems like that's going to be stretched out a little bit more.
Yeah, they've noticed the Judgment Day has been like a top story, especially on Raw. While you have the Bloodline on SmackDown, I think there's a little bit more you can do with it. I would have liked. I guess we know why there wasn't a Money in the Bank cash in, as we're going to get to our next match after this with Damian Priest. But I like what you're saying here, Barry. You know, I think the outcome Priest turning face. Can we get a big face turn from Damian Priest breaking away? Or are we going to get Finn turning face? I don't know. That's what makes it interesting, though, right? There's really no.
To me, Finn. I need Finn to be face.
Mm-hmm.
When he gets angry with that accent, it just does not work. Like I'm like, brother, like, and he's not like a big dude either. So to me, it's like because Finn's a star, but when he's a heel, he's just not as threatening to me. Like he's still a baby face that needs to fight from under. Because when he gets in the ring with those like Brocks, dude, like you can just see that's why he has the demon. So he could channel that and become a larger than life person to take down these monsters. That's how I feel.
I can hear the Bullet Club mark screaming right now, Nick.
Well, I can
hear them.
Listen,
I can hear them all over the world.
I will take on every fucking Bullet Club mark in the galaxy. All right. Okay, I know what all of you look like. You don't look like this, pal.
You sure don't.
You don't look like this, brother. A gazillion beers out there. Bullet Club Gold, XYZ, friggin' XL, Bullet Club.
Wrestle Kingdom 8, brother.
I don't give a damn. None of you watched Wrestle Kingdom.
Tokyo Dome, brother.
You watched clips in the morning. You're all a bunch of frauds. All of you Bullet Club friends out there.
They're in their basements right now, man. They are screaming, smacking the keyboard, shutting us off.
Yeah, it's easy to be badass in the Bullet Club when the guy you're across the ring from is like 6 foot maybe, and then you go against the giant Omos, a real superstar.
Oh,
and then you get stomped. Gazillion beers.
Gazillion beers. They're not naming any names. Gazillion beers.
Whoa,
there he is. All right, yeah, no, I thought obviously the match was great. Two of the best workers in the world. We know that. We've sang their praises before. Both Finn and Seth put a hell of a match together. Match went well. Like I said, I didn't think that was how it was going to end. It did. We'll see where it goes.
Okay, this is Boggs Biega's joke, not mine. He said, "Are you going to say they're all petite?" I didn't say it.
No, we keep it.
I'm also a small guy, so I'm not like, if I was a wrestler, that would be the avenue I would be going down. Plus, I love all those guys. They're actually.
Go ahead, Nick.
They're actually all awesome. It's just that gazillion beers is in the chat, and I know he's fucking gonna give me shit after this, and I have to let that kid know what's up.
Just know this, Boggs. Everyone's petite to me, except Omos. Other than that,
except Omos. Yeah. And I certainly am. Okay, so the ends of this match. So essentially, what happens is that one interesting that was awesome is that, like, in the promo package, Seth talked about how it's personal because Finn trained Becky. If Becky was never trained properly and never made it to the big stage, he may have never met his wife.
Which is like things like that, man. That goes a long way.
That goes a super long way, like into the story. So Priest comes down. They try to do the handoff to hit Rollins. It doesn't work. Priest ends up then leaving the briefcase in the ring. Rollins hits the curb stomp on the briefcase. Finn kicked out of the curb stomp, which I didn't like, because to me that should be a protected. Like, that's like do not be kicking out of the curb stomp. Rollins retains. We'll see where it goes, man. The story is Judgment Day. I don't know who Rollins gets next, though. I have no clue. Could be Damian Priest himself. I have no idea where Rollins goes with this, but he's doing what he does, man. Rollins is doing what he does.
LA Knights on SmackDown, right? So I don't think that doesn't look like it's going to be it. Yeah, it's tough to say. I mean, Priest has the briefcase, right? So I don't think we're going to see a transitional champ until then. I don't think someone's going to take it off Rollins. I think we'll see Rollins. I think the story is Priest cashing in on Rollins, or Finn, or
Yeah.
Finn, or if we have a rematch.
Next match on the card. I thought these three did a great job. Charlotte versus Asuka versus Bianca. I'll say this. It's another one of those like, oh, again, Charlotte Flair's entrance is so legit. She just looks like an absolute star whenever she comes in. She truly is like the queen. She gives those vibes. She got the new entrance music now with like the hail the queen. Like, just a badass thing. I thought the match itself was very good.
It was a good triple threat for sure. And those are hard to have. They did.
Yeah, and like, you got Charlotte's just like so athletic that like she can't hit the moonsault on the back because she's like too perfect. Like, so she just overshoots everyone. But it's almost like if she doesn't overshoot, I'm like, that's not Charlotte's moonsault.
No, she's got to miss everybody. Boggs, obviously, we were going to get to this. I think we should just get to it now. Bianca Belair selling that knee.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair selling that knee. And I had family watching with me. They don't watch wrestling. They were dead set. Like, no, this is real. This is 100% real. The reason why I knew she was working a little bit, I knew one of the extras that ran out. I knew he wasn't really a doctor. I know I've seen him before at shows.
What other podcasts are you getting that type of inside info?
So I was like, as soon as it happened, I'm like, oh, because I was bummed. I thought it was real too. And then I saw him run out and I was like, oh, never mind. But amazing. She was obviously the people I was watching with were like, no, I think that's real. They think they bought it. They bought it. They were like, oh,
I bought it.
Yep, I bought it until I saw that. But I initially did. I thought
Ben didn't smarten me up, by the way, guys. He didn't give me the old tech ski and be like, listen, Nikki and TJ, listen. That dude, he didn't go to medical school.
No,
brother.
he was. No, he is a.
He went to Hogan's Beach Shop and bought this fucking outfit for $350 and for $700 if the Hulkster signs it, brother.
Brother, 700. Come on now. It's chump change.
It's chump change.
Reagan, I think, I am surprised Charlotte didn't win. I did think they were going to put the belt on Charlotte again. I like that it's on Bianca. Again, we'll see where it goes. All three women and some of the top women in the world wrestling wise, put on a triple threats are tough. No matter what level, triple threats are tough. They did it. They had a good match. Bianca with that sell obviously was the most memorable part of the match. But Nick, I think he put on Twitter, Charlotte holding that bridge for his life.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah. She's just, like, people just take for granted what they do. Like, I challenge anybody to go into a bridge for that long. Granted, it's probably not difficult for her at all. Like, it's probably part of her routine of what she does to work out. But, like, you could see her. She's in the bridge. She's looking. She's waiting. And I'm like, you know what? It kind of, maybe it's a little awkward that she's holding this for that long. But guess what? You know what's worse? If she drops.
Yeah.
And, like, doesn't, and she can't hold it. That's what I have to say.
One thing that I did have because I just like when wrestling is as realistic as possible, and this can mean like, and I saw Rip Rogers actually said something on Twitter about this today. It's okay when things happen that don't look pretty because it's supposed to be a fight, right? Not every fight's going to be pretty. I didn't like that Bianca to break up the bridge. Bianca took all that time to go up to the top rope and do a 450 on top.
Right.
Because like at any point, Asuka could tap, right? At any point. It was beautiful and it was cool as hell. Don't get me wrong, but those little things that takes me out of it a bit. That just it's nitpicky. It's nitpicky, but
but that's a real nitpick. That's a real nitpick because then you're just like, because that's like how I get upset when people are holding each other on the ropes. Like I can't stand that. I'm like, this would never happen under any circumstances anywhere. Also, Charlotte dropping from the bridge at the perfect time so she doesn't get hurt.
Or break her back.
I don't think people like you watch it on television and you're like, oh, that wasn't that difficult. You just wait to no. In real time, like it's extremely difficult to do that. Like these people, like you take for granted how great these women are in the ring. WWE's division especially is just fucking incredible. And speaking of their division, Io Sky comes in, right, with Damage Control.
Oh, like Ultimate Warrior, baby.
Like Ultimate Warrior.
1990 running down
and how's this? Is like her theme song gets the vibes going.
Mm-hmm.
Like when that her
That
she
riff,
had,
yeah.
it's like I'm in Poncha and in New York City, 7 a.m. taking psychedelics, and like I haven't slept in 24 hours. That's not my bag, by the way. I'm just saying I know people,
A younger
and that
Nikki though,
and
you
not
couldn't
even
stop
younger
him.
Nikki,
No.
brother. I'm fucking CM Punk straight edge as you can get. Trust
7
me.
a.m. Nikki's already up.
But
He's already had
but what
3
I'm
hours of
saying
playtime.
is that music you get as Edge said back in the day, take care, beware, because the freaks come out at night, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so Io Sky, that music hits, you know what's up, and I loved how Bailey was the big heavy,
Mm-hmm.
just smashing bitches
Yeah.
with the
Oh
fucking
yeah.
Money in the Bank briefcase. I got it right down
Mm-hmm.
here, just smashing people. Set
Mm-hmm.
like a true. This is the faction. If she wins, we all win. She took everyone out. She took the heat from Bianca, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then here comes Io, and this is where you knew the leg wasn't compromised. Io takes the briefcase, hits her in the leg, and then what I liked is how she went to the top rope, and then she looks at the ringer announcer, and she's like,
Yeah, do it. Yeah,
"Ring
that's
the
good. That's
bell!
a
I
good
need
point.
the bell! I need the
Yeah,
bell!" And then she does
that's
the
good.
Pancha is lit from testosterone, dude.
I no. Hey, by the way,
I'm just saying, I know people who've been there. I know people who've been there, but that's it.
Io's moonsault has such a snap to it. Like it is like it looks more impactful. She doesn't get as much height as someone like like a Charlotte, but like her moonsault, that snap she does to it makes it look even more vicious. Yeah, I again, right. We got to get somebody. I don't know if somebody can do it. We got to get the Ultimate Warriors music over Bailey and Io
I mean,
running
I
down
could
the.
do it.
Oh, I
I'm a
guess we got to get
fucking
that.
producer, brother.
We got to get that. We got to get that. We need to post that because that's all I thought when I saw them sprinting down that long ass ramp or long ass walkway.
It's like I get these requests all the time. It's like, hey, you should put this. Like, get your social guy to do it. I'm like, I am the fucking
Looking at the
social
social
guy.
guy. I would have been blown
I'm
up to
the
the goddamn shreds once I hit that ring. I was sprinting
dude.
from the back.
She like, yeah, you're right with the moonsault though. Like, she's also like her size. Like, she doesn't get the much air, but like the trajectory that she takes on it, and
Yeah,
then like she lands flat perfectly on the person every
she's
every
great.
single time.
I think she's one. I mean, everyone involved in that match are all legit. I think I can't speak more highly of any of them. So yeah, a great triple threat match.
So Barry Cohen says, "Can we talk about how the tag titles are not what they used to
Yeah,
be?"
I
Now,
wanted to bring
Barry,
that up. Mhm.
quick question: are you talking about the women's tag title or the
I
men's?
think the men's, if he's talking about what they used to be.
Because if you're talking about the women's, that's dead wrong. Because Chelsea Green's the champion, which means that it is exactly where it needs to be. So
Yeah,
let's just
right.
make that clear. If Chelsea
Um,
Green is a champion, then it is
I'm gonna
exactly
go
where it needs
off.
to be.
I'm gonna go off that he's talking about the men until he responds, and if he proves me wrong, but I think that's who he's talking about. I think that was a miss. I think not
Yeah,
having the
huge miss.
tag titles on on the second biggest show of the year hurts him a little bit. Can we get away from the having two titles? Like, can we get a single nice tag title, like just yeah, the men's okay. No, can we get that like a nice one? I hate the two. The colors, does it look bad? It looks kind of campy.
Don't get me started, dude. You know I fucking. First of all, the belts with the gold look so much better
The
than
red
these
and the
friggin'
blue,
red
it
and
looks
blue
so dumb.
toys.
And they're
It looks
like
so
circles.
much
They look
better.
like shitty indie belts. Honestly, some of these like these red and blue belts. It looks like a shitty belt that an indie promoter got for $100.
They look like something you'd buy in Target, which is why they're made that way. So the little
Yeah,
marks
I
run down
know,
the
I
aisle.
know. But man, we gotta do something about that. Really not having them on the card. Sammy and Kevin Owens is a big miss. That was the biggest miss of the night for me. I think they could have slotted them in somewhere, maybe
Yeah.
taken down the match times a little bit, give them a good match with another tag
Sammy's
team.
entrance theme too always plays well in these big arenas, these big stadiums. So
Mhm.
that was a miss, and they're just so hot right now. Like they're hot. Like why would you not have them on the card? But like that would have made that we would have got out at 1 a.m. if they were added to that. But then again, you probably could have taken out. I guess they really had to push the Ronda
Okay.
match in if this is Ronda's end of
We
the
got
show.
Raz in here. Little little dirt sheet added to the chat a little
Look at
bit
this
from Raz.
Raz.
No,
The
but
Raz.
Raz,
We got the
that's right.
Raz sheet. You're the Raz
The
sheet
Raz
now,
sheet
brother.
down
This
here,
is
but he
the
might be
Raz
right.
sheet.
I think he might be right because I think there was a rumor that he was hurt. So maybe that's why. I think a DIY. Hopefully we have a DIY feud coming soon. I think that'd be great. Yep.
Then we're in the main event.
Now we're in the main event.
We're in the main event, and okay, so Roman versus Jey Uso, tribal combat with no stipulations that we understand for the Universal Championship, and the match itself, I feel like I've just seen it too much. The actual match, the match was pretty long,
man.
Listen, I understand why people are like, oh, the Bloodline storyline continues. The only thing is, like, the same formula is used in every match. It's like you wrestle for 40 minutes, then Solo comes out, and then you you have to figure out what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it's the same rinse and repeat, just with different people. I kind of feel like if there was going to be a stipulation, it should have been a big, like a Punjabi prison type stipulation where, like, you really, like, visually you were like, fuck, this is different, because this was just the same damn match, and then Solo comes out, but they just changed the finish, which was Jimmy turning on his brother. I don't know if to me it's obviously the jealousy angle.
Yeah,
like it's why are you gonna? I'm not gonna let you be the tribal chief. What the fuck? I'm your twin. Like, I'm not letting you become the tribal chief.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything you said is spot on. This was disappointing. I'll come out and say it. Pretty big snooze fest up until the last 5 minutes of the match. It just wasn't great. My wife and my sister, who were watching with me, were a little too excited to see Roman Reigns, and but do I blame them? No, I don't. So yeah, it was boring. Unfortunately, I like both guys. Both guys have been amazing. Obviously, we can't say enough good things about Roman, and what he's been done over the past 3 years. But I couldn't get into this. Like you said, it was formulaic. I don't know what tribal combat means. Somebody on Twitter actually posted something about, like, even though it's no disqualification, no one can interfere in a tribal combat match. So
who was that? Raz? Was that you, Raz?
It wasn't from a Raz sheet. It wasn't the Raz sheet.
Was that the Raz sheet?
Somebody wrote that, and it was something that it was like a
Lee Taylor. You're lying. Okay, Lee Taylor. You're lying.
That didn't happen.
Who played Lee Taylor?
He's gonna say like Mystic versus
Lee Taylor. Tell me who played and name 3 players.
No, it wasn't Raz. Lee, we're waiting on that. Lee, you want to hear?
Look at Raz. Raz. You know what Raz is doing right now? He's protecting his source.
Protecting
not
his
this guy. We know Raz, man. The Raz sheet. Yeah, I'm gonna get a DM later. Be like, hey, man, I'll be your dirt sheet guy.
I'll be your dirt sheet guy. I might need a dirt sheet guy.
Dude, if you're a dirt sheet guy out there, you got some real dirt. Hit up at Nikki the Good. Hit up at Rasslin. We'll see if we get you a spot on the biggest pro wrestling show on the internet.
Good point here by Amanda. Maybe this match could have used some of the older Samoans. Where was Sika, Roman's dad? Maybe could have used Rikishi out there. Maybe those two out there could have added a little bit to it. Again, it's like been the same. It's been the same thing. But I also want to say I think there's still money left in the Bloodline angle. I don't think they jumped the shark. I don't believe that. I think Jimmy and Jay now is going to be a main fixture. And people were like, "Oh, why would Jimmy join Roman?" He didn't join Roman.
No, he just didn't allow his brother to become the tribal chief.
If you remember the promo from a few weeks back with Roman cut when they were all in the ring, when Jay did the official turn and they gave him the super kicks, he said there was one person that was mad when we made Jay the right hand man, and it wasn't the wise man. He did so. There was seeds planted here that Jimmy was always a little bit jealous of Jay. Jimmy got hurt.
Testosterone says Sean Raz Sapp. Sorry.
Pop. What a pop.
Here's a hit. Nope. To Ben, what you were saying, here's Raz. Here's our inside guy right now. Jay hinted on SmackDown that the whole tribe would be in attendance, and with the Rikishi teases on IG a few weeks back, it all seemed destined for a few appearances.
Yeah, I think that would have
So
added to it. I think that
there
would
we
have
go.
added
We
to it
got
a little bit
confirmation
more.
from Raz.
So yeah, unfortunately, this was one of my of recent memory least favorite Roman matches. The ending, it obviously picked up a bit. We saw what happened. I liked it. I think the Bloodline story has more legs to it. They haven't let us down yet. Paul Heyman's incredible at what he does. I know his fingerprints are all over this storyline. And let's see where it goes.
He said we're in the third inning.
I think I honestly also think he's working. I think he's working a little bit.
First, brother, we got a pitch clock now. Okay,
yeah,
Paul?
he's working. Everybody calm down. He's working. I'll tell you that right now. He knows what he's doing. He reads the internet. Believe me, he knows.
And I know he reads the internet because I tweeted from Rasslin something about how Paul Heyman has not missed on a promo, despite the fact that sometimes he's just saying the exact same thing, but he still draws you in, and he retweeted it, so he's reading it. Maybe Raz is Paul Heyman.
Oh,
that might be it.
Raz Heyman, the wise man, the Raz man,
the Razzie Dazzy. So Jay had sweet white gear on. I like that. That was pretty dope. Someone said up here that it would have been nice to see Roman switch up the gear a little bit. I think that could have worked for the tribal combat type thing. I would have had them literally in a Samoan setting. I would have done something completely outside the box if you're gonna call it a tribal combat. There was nothing tribal combat about this match. So at the end of the match, you get the same deal, man. You get Solo comes in. It's the same thing. Solo comes in. He starts doing Roman's dirty what the fuck, dirty work.
Also, does Solo forget how to speak English?
So Solo comes down, he starts doing the dirty work, and then all of a sudden, every single pay-per-view, premium live event, he has an epiphany, and he's like, "Wait a minute, I don't know if I really like Roman anymore," and he just starts staring at the guy, every single time, and then he looks at his thumb, and he's like,
"Yeah, it's a little."
It's ridiculous. And then Roman's like, "What you doing? Yep. What you looking at? Why are you looking at your thumb?"
Yeah. Why you
I'm like, listen, guys, just be on the same page before you go out there. Do you like this guy or do you like that guy? Why do you wait to give 17 Samoan spikes before you start thinking that I'm the problem and that you want the tribal necklace or whatever like that? So, it was just the same thing, and then so you knew when Jimmy didn't come out for a while, that he wasn't coming out to save Jay. That was pretty obvious. So we're just gonna get Usos versus Usos, which is Reagan Bradley. I was thinking cinematic match would have been fine, but the problem is that they're going to be the headline, so it's you can't end the show on a cinematic match. That's the issue there.
It'd be tough. I think that'd be a lot more outrage than there is now.
You should have just had them on the Rocks compound and been like, "Yo, take me to your mana, take me to your horse ranch, put us out there, brother, and we'll have a tribal combat match." My question is, if you're going to have the Usos, they're obviously going to be fighting each other down, multiple pay-per-views or whatever like that. What do you do with the entrance theme? Do you just keep playing it? Do you just keep playing the entrance theme? Do they just both come down at the same time? This is something I was thinking earlier today on the old Stairmaster. I was like, what are the Usos going to do?
Nick works out, by the way.
Guys, I work out, by the way. Yeah, so I don't know, man. What do you do with that entrance? That's a fire entrance.
You see the whole crowd going nuts for him with the up. That was cool. That's a cool visual. That's a cool visual. That will get anybody fired. I knew Jay was. This is so fucking awesome.
They had the theme song without the lyrics, and when they added in the lyrics, which is just them talking, it's just the most fire shit ever.
I think it's time for Jay to bring the face paint back.
Yeah, they got to do something. The Usos if they're gonna go against each other, they got to have different color schemes. They bring the vibrant colors back to make sure we know who's the baby, who's the heel.
Let's
so
get
on and
Big
so forth.
Kish involved too. Let's get Rikishi
Yeah,
involved.
bring his fat ass back
Yeah,
there.
let's let it.
Shove his
Hey,
ass in some
been there.
people's
Maybe
faces,
Scotty too
man.
hot. He can make a
Let's
comeback too.
go.
Let's
Do
just
the
bring them all
worm.
back to the.
So let me see. Do I got anything else here? I mean, that was that. I mean, that was the pay per view. I mean, that was the pay per view, and now we're gonna see what kind of the fallout is.
Mhm.
Um,
We got a few questions asked. I think the main questions here, Nick. Number one, what happens with Jimmy and Jay coming out of the pay per view? I think that's number one on
Yep.
people's minds. So SmackDown should be hot this week. What's LA Knight going to do next? We've heard rumors. Is the big push coming? Big push coming.
I don't want the big push. I just
Mhm.
want the U.S. title. Like that to me is because the other titles are like they're locked up. Like you want a big push, like okay, get him the U.S. title and then may have him take it off Gunther at some point at like WrestleMania or something like that. Like do that. Like LA Knight is not someone you fuck with. Like
No.
he is legitimately he could be a top 3 guy. Like it could be like it could legit be Roman Cody and LA Knight. Like I think he's like I watched his press conference. The guy fucking oozes fucking charisma.
No, it's he's one of a kind. He's one of a kind. How it just his confidence, his charisma. Not many people have that, and he's a special breed. That way he can own a crowd, own a room. He's done it from the indies all the way up now to the biggest stage. So
what questions we got in the in the chat? What questions we got? You guys got any questions?
I see Amanda here. Is Jay Roman over? Do they go back to it after Jay and Jimmy? I think it still has legs, Jay and Roman. There's still more to be answered. Obviously, their story's always going to be there. I do think Jay and Jimmy will take us through the rest of the year. Maybe there's the big blow off match at Mania between the two, but I think we know where Roman's headed into Mania season.
And I also think that by the time we get there, that we'll get to that Reagan. Is that I think by the time Cody faces Roman, I think the bloodline will not be there to help Roman. And I think that's what allows Cody to beat him just 101 clean with no schmaz, no run-ins, no nothing.
Yeah.
Because by that time, I think the bloodline is not helping out Roman anymore.
No, I think the whole bloodline is decimated by that point. Let's get to Reagan's question.
I love
here.
These questions right
I
here.
know.
These are the type of questions I get.
Finisher change, interesting. Rapid fire here. I think so. It's a weird one. It's a little odd to me. I don't.
Well, what's funny is like he obviously does the people's elbow in his own version, and then this is a version of the stunner, but he needs something that I feel like he just needs something that's like snappier, that's quicker,
Yeah, like
and
an
just gets
RKO or a stunner.
And gets the crowd just to pop, and it could be something like he's the type of guy that it could be literally like something like a punch, and it would get like a Judas effect type deal.
Yeah,
like or a Texas tornado spinning punch. Like he could get that over in a heartbeat.
Yeah, a cutters are kind of overdone at this point, so I don't think it'll be a cutter, but just something. I don't know. Again, it's not horrible. It's not like it's not like the overdrive. I don't know if anybody remembers the worst Randy Orton's first finisher with the worst finisher in wrestling history. It's not that. So it's fine, but I agree with Reagan here. I think it could use one. Let's get a rapid fire here, Nick. We'll get it going. Kept these people here.
Do we see Bray this week or an in-ring Biggie segment based on the latest news? Of course, Raz has the news, man.
Raz, where are you getting this news from, buddy?
What news, Raz? What do you, dude? Raz, I'm talking to you right now. I have 2 kids. I don't have time to read your Razzie news sheets. Okay, so other than that, let's see. Do we get Bray? Do we get Bray, dude? Which Bray? Uncle Howdy? Like what Bray are we getting? Like are we chasing the rabbit again for 6 months? I don't know how you bring Bray back. I love Bray. There's a guy in the chat, Keith, my buddy. He's here. I straight up dressed up with one of those Bray hats and Hawaiian shirts for like a good year. That's how big of a mark I was for Bray. I don't know how you bring him back. Like he's got to fit somewhere.
I mean, that was one of the best characters I've seen in wrestling in a long time. That the Swamp cult leader Bray Wyatt. Unfortunately, I think that's what people are going to remember forever. The Fiend was good, but that was a second tier to that, and then whatever he was when he just came back, I don't know, was way far below.
I got to take this question. Barry Cohen says, "Did Big Trouble kick Brandon to the curb as his manager?" I'll say this: if Brandon's in Chicago and I'm not, and Ben has a match in Chicago, Brandon's Ben's manager. If Ben is wrestling in New Jersey, if I'm allowed there, I'll be his manager.
We're kind of like the bloodline.
Yeah, we're like the blood. We're interchangeable. I'm
We
gonna
have to
walk
think of a
around.
name
I'm
for
gonna
that.
wrap my thumb, and I'm just gonna fucking unload on people in the back, man. Ben's gonna go over. He's gonna win a title on every fucking whatever.
The same finish every match.
Same finish.
Thumb to the throat.
We're gonna Matt
spear.
Cardona. Matt Cardona's been hit with his championship about 75 times on the Indies, making all this money. I'm just gonna be walking around Nikki Solo.
Nikki Solo.
Just thumbing people to the solar plex, brother.
Let's see if we got what else one
we
here. Modified DDT probably would be a good one for him for LA Knight. Officially down Roman to having one belt. I think so. I think he comes out with one belt now. Or did Heyman have the belts? Did he have both belts last night?
No, just one belt.
He had one belt. Okay, so there we go. Anything else we got here?
Let's see. Do we have anything?
Am I the only one who thinks LA Knight is stiff as fuck in the ring sometimes? Peter, do you know what that is? Peter, do you know what being stiff is in the ring? Have you been in the ring, Peter? I want to ask that. Peter, you've been great all night. I don't want to call you out here.
Damn it, Peter.
But knowing about being stiff in the ring, you gotta be in the ring. You gotta be in the ring. Still love you, Peter.
Let's see. There's gotta be something. Where is Nick Tirani? He's in Chicago. Nick Tirani's in Chicago. Nick is he's a bit of a wrestling fan though. Does Io Sky make it to Payback as champ?
What is Payback the next?
Yeah, I think the next
Fastlane. No, it's Fastlane.
Is it?
Is it not Fastlane?
Gazillion beers. If you're still here, what's the next pay-per-view? What's the next pay-per-view?
Did Brock Lesnar have a wardrobe malfunction during the event last night?
He did have a little ripski. Thank God he was wearing. His shorts were completely ripped.
Oh, I guess I kind of missed that.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here.
Anything else, or we could start wrapping it up?
Peter's saying he's still stiff as hell. Well, Peter, I'll take your word for it. Okay. Payback is up next per Raz. Okay, thank you, Raz, once again. The Raz sheet is going to might be a reoccurring segment.
Yeah, Raz. Like if you could, I don't know who you are, but you could DM me and you'll be my official Raz sheet guy. But you got to come with the scoops, man. No, like you got to be we need 100% success rate. That's what we need here if we're going to take this show to the next level.
We can end it with this question, or if Nick wants to ask another one. But did we enjoy last night? Yes. Again,
always.
At the end of the day, we're wrestling fans. It was enjoyable. Like we said at the beginning, I put SummerSlam on a pedestal, and that was probably my issue. I think Backlash, I think Money in the Bank was better than SummerSlam this year. It's going to happen sometimes, right? It's not it doesn't mean it was bad. Doesn't mean it was bad, but just not as, like I said, I'll give it a B- for last night. Nick, I think you said B.
Yeah, I said B. I mean, any wrestling is a great show. Like I never walk away from pay-per-view being like, oh, I just wasted my time. No, like last night, that was the best way to spend my Saturday night. Like that was, that's exactly what you want. Pro wrestling, spectacle, pyro, your favorite wrestlers, you get some cool damn moments, and that's why we watch. With that said, so we're going to close it out here. Thanks everyone for joining. So here's the deal. In case you're all wondering, what's up? I'm a new subscriber. What's up, Tyler? Thanks for joining, brother.
Thank you, Tyler.
Welcome.
One thing. I think I like this, what Goodfellas said before we wrap it up.
What did Goodfellas say?
Crowd was mid, didn't help. Was it the crowd's fault? Was it that one of those matches we wanted to keep naming it? That kind of took the crowd out of it. Was the international crowds a lot better? They were hot.
They also know what to do. Like they're also all in there. Like their crowd is more part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So say that. And then as far as this show, so just in case you guys are wondering, we are going to be doing this every Friday. We will have an episode. Yep. Every single Friday, we are on audio. We are on Spotify, Apple. We are on YouTube. Like, subscribe. We're not going anywhere, right? We're going to just keep churning out the content here. We do have some stuff in the pipeline that we think is very exciting. Not going to get into it quite yet, but we're making moves. We're doing things. So any way you guys can support, Like, subscribe, leave good reviews and all of that. Tell your friends, share. We're all into that. Other than that, Ben, where can people follow you?
I'm going to say you got it right there at Big Trouble BB. You can follow me on Twitter, on Instagram. Just started a TikTok, trying to grow that a little bit. I still don't know what the absolute hell I am doing on TikTok. I sometimes I'll just get so overwhelmed by just shut it. I just shut it off. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. I don't understand this. But I'm pretty funny. I think I'm funny on Twitter. Let me put myself over. And I think I'm good looking enough for you guys to follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's where you can follow me.
Yeah. And you can follow me at Nikki the Good. Pretty much just like Twitter's the main place you can find me. And then other than that, just follow Rasslin everywhere on Twitter and Instagram, at Rasslin. On TikTok. We are growing on TikTok. We got some good stuff going on over there. We're a little over 16,000 now. Followers, and that is at Rasslin Barstool. So this is the recap for this week. We will be here on Friday. We are working on some interviews, so that's kind of what I'm alluding to. So we're working on bringing that to the channel as well, and audio. So we'll be around. We'll see you guys around, and that's it for now. Thanks for joining. And if you guys want to see anything, leave it in the comments. Ben, anything else for these marks?
Nothing else, guys. Keep it positive, keep it trucking, and always remember to keep those shades on because the sun never sets on a cool guy. Talk to you guys soon.
Later, Marks. Brother.